Hello and welcome to Walk With Me, the podcast. I am your host, Bédard, and today I'll invite you to embark on the journey that is as simple as it is profound, the act of walking together. Now, the name Walk With Me is intentional, me is my initials, Marie-Ève, but it also stands for me as in each one of us. So this podcast is a place where I want us to explore life, death, everything in between and beyond. Over the years, I've witnessed that growth and evolution can be daunting for a lot of people, but when we get out of our heads and walk the path together, something truly magical happens. We collapse time, we tap into our inner wisdom, and unlock amazing potentialities. So this journey is not just about walking. It's more than just putting one foot in front of the other. It's about exploration. It's about the deep connections we form with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us as we move through life. So together, we'll dive into the discoveries of science, the teachings of the heart, and the revelations of the soul. From the frequency of the Black Forest and journey where I live, I'll be added some sacred feminine wisdom and collective consciousness. We'll explore how everything shapes our lives and our path. So lace up your shoes and let's walk together on this path of growth and evolution. Hello and welcome back to Walk With Me, the podcast. I am your host. I'm Marie-Ève Bédard, and I'm so happy to be coming here today to talk about a topic that I've been talking about in my containers for years and years and years now. And for some reason, I had jotted down like all the basic to bring it to a podcast episode, like from the creation of this podcast, but it was never brought forward until today, because until today, it didn't feel like it was the right timing. But now that we're closing in 2024, I think that it is the great time to bring this conversation forward. Now, I am so glad to be diving into this topic that really might change the way that you think about rest. Here's the thing. A lot of us are walking around saying, I'm so tired, but no matter how much sleep we get, we never feel like it's enough. Does it sound familiar? That's because rest isn't just about sleep. We often think rest equals sleep, but rest is so much more than sleep. So all sleep is rest, but not all rest are sleep. Sleep is part of it for sure, but the rest is a whole spectrum. And over the years, I've really come to understand that there are 7 different types of rest, and I've seen how transformative it can be to bring awareness to these areas in my own life for sure and with my clients. So this episode is really aimed at bringing awareness to the 7 different types of rest, to give you a few ideas, but it really is meant not as a checklist, but really meant for you to start thinking about this in your own life and deepen your connection to yourself so you can really find the answers within to which type of rest you really need at the moment. All right. So let's take a walk together, figuratively or literally, if you're out walking right now and you're, getting some sensory rest or some creative rest or some emotional rest in the nature outside. And we're going to explore those 7 types of rest that can really help you feel truly recharged. Now, when we hear the word rest, most of us think physical rest. Like I was saying, like things like sleeping in or collapsing on the couch after a long day. But have you ever had one of those moments where you've slept for like 7-8 hours, which is the recommended minimum time, and then you wake up still feeling drained? It's like, it's not just your body that is tired. It's like your mind is tired, your soul is tired, like your whole being is tired, or only parts of that being is tired. So that's why understanding the broader concept of rest is so important, because it's so much more than just about your body. It's about your mind. It's about your emotions, your relationships, your senses, your creativity, and even your spirit. So let's unpack this together one type at a time. Okay, so let's start with the one that everyone knows, physical rest. That's the obvious one, obviously. Sleep, naps, downtime. It's also about active recovery, like doing stretching or meditation, yoga, taking a moment to sit down and let your body relax. So asking yourself, are you giving your body the space it needs to truly rest, right? Now, the second one is mental rest. So you might have felt this, like you haven't done much physically during the day and you've been on the computer working. And at the end of the day, you feel exhausted, but it's like in your head. And we live in a world that is constantly bombarding us with information, like email, to-do lists, social media, like everything that is really going at our mind. And mental rest means stepping away from all that noise. It may be a 5-minute meditation, it may be journaling your thoughts, or just staring out the window and letting your brain literally breathe. Now, the third one is the emotional rest. So this one is actually the one that hits deep, because emotional rest means to give yourself permission to feel without judgment. It's about having spaces where you can show up fully as yourself without any judgment, without carrying the weight of other people's expectations, projections, where you can really show up being yourself without censorship, and you can really allow yourself to look at those emotions and their meaning and their underlying messages. The fourth one is social rest. Now, as I say this, you're probably saying, yeah, I actually understand that one, because not all social interactions are created equal, right? Some people just light us up, they make us feel alive. They really are people that we want to be around, that lift us up, while others are draining us. They can really bring us down. And social rest is about being intentional with our energy, stepping away from draining relationship and leaning into connections and relationship that nourish us. So having the awareness around this will really go a long way, especially as we go in at this time of year. We're going into the end of year celebrations. So this is one that we might want to explore more or be aware more. Now, the fifth one is sensory rest. Now, our senses are constantly bombarded as well. Screens, notification, noise, bright light, sounds. Like if you're like me, like I have a sensory processing differences, and sound is really one that is hitting so hard for me. And I really have to make time for myself to have sensory rest. And I know that in my life where I felt the most drained, in my life where it really sent me down the path of like burnout very rapidly, it's because I wasn't able to get enough sensory rest for myself. So sensory rest might look like turning off your devices, sitting in silence, spending time somewhere calm, like nature, and really protecting our boundaries and recognizing our sensitivity to any of those senses, right? The sixth one is a fun one. The sixth one is the creative rest. Creative rest is all about filling your soul with wonder and inspiration. It's the one that connects you with the awe and wonder of your inner child. It's watching a sunset. It's visiting an art gallery, or simply marveling at the little things, like gratefulness is actually really a great one. It's about allowing yourself to just enjoy beauty without feeling the need to produce anything from it. In a hyper-productive world, society, this one is the one that is so often going under the radar, because we're not aware of its impact on us. And to be able to really receive creativity from the outside world, like inspiration, all that reception allows us to really recharge that part of us that is so depleted so many times. And the seventh one is spiritual rest. Now, we're not talking here about religion or anything. We're talking about connection. We're talking about a connection to a higher power or a sense of purpose, or simply the interconnectedness and vastness of life. It's really about finding practices that make you feel grounded and whole. Now, it can be a prayer, it can be a meditation, it can be reflecting on what truly matters to you. Spiritual rest is about connection to something bigger than ourselves. All right, so now that we've explored the 7 types of rest, let me ask you this. Which one do you feel is most neglected in your life right now? Take a moment to reflect. Are you physically burned out? Are you emotionally overwhelmed? Or maybe you just haven't paused to take in something beautiful in a while. Now, this happens when we are really focused on being efficient. We really tend to forget that the doing nothing, and I'm air quoted here, and to taking in the beauty of the world is productive. It's like the ebb and flow, the tide going in and going out. We really need that. So take another few minutes to reflect. All right. So here's the thing. Rest doesn't have to mean that we book a day at a spa necessarily, or we do a weekend retreat or take a vacation all the time. Like, we can really weave into our daily lives in small intentional moments, so we can always have this recharging, restoring part of our, like, little ebbs and flows. You're not a tank of gas where we just like wait for the tank of gas to really go down and then we go to the gas station. You can really do that in your everyday life to recharge and recharge and recharge. So 5 minutes of deep breathing before you start your work day, turning off notification on your phone and sitting in silence for a while. A walk in the park to soak in the beauty around you. Like, rest is not selfish. It is essential to our overall well-being. And when you start to really bring awareness and you start to make little shifts like that, you're really going to realize how much these refinement and fine-tuning can go a long way. So if you want, here's your own work. I want you to think about which type of rest you need most right now. And then take one small step to give yourself that rest today. Not tomorrow, today. Just one. If you're not sure where to start, you can actually reach out. I'd love to hear what's coming up for you. If you are not yet in the Walk With Me, the hub, which has been revamped very lately, and it has like a whole bunch of different things. It's on Telegram, and it's just a beautiful place that I've created for you to really go in, plug in, and recharge and exchange. That actually is a beautiful place. So you can share your thoughts with me there. Let's keep the conversation going on social media, because we all deserve to feel rested and whole and happy and fulfilled. And it doesn't have to be complicated. We think that it's complicated, but it's not, And as you start to move through all these different types of rest and recharging all these areas of your life, you're going to really get better at this. And you're going to really start to be even more connected to the messages that you're receiving from your emotions, from your body, and really moving into significant and intentional change towards where you want to go. So thank you for walking with me today. Until next time, take care of yourself, rest well. And I also wanted to tell you that to support you in this process of rest, I have first decided that I was going to take a break until the new year for the podcast episode, but I am leaving you on a weekly basis with the 3 first days of 7 days of serenity that I did in November. So you're going to have each week a new exercise or visualization or something that is going to be dropped in for the next episode to bring you at the end of this year into the new year, to help you support in your different types of rest. And I also have a beautiful 2024 reflection workbook if you want, with the seven important questions for the winter solstice. So if you haven't listened to that episode that I did last year around this time of year, the 7 questions that are super important to ask yourself at the end of the year, so we can really create and prepare for the next year. It would really be like the equivalent of a gardener that is at the end of the season planning for the next season of growth. So it doesn't have to be everything that we are planning for January 1st, for example. It really is a process over the winter for us to prepare for the spring next year. All right, I am leaving you on these words, and I hope that you have a fantastic downtime at the end of this year, winter solstice, and I will talk to you in the new year. And in the meantime, you will get those 3 first days of 7 days of serenity. And if you want more real-time connection, join us in the hub, Walk With Me, the hub on Telegram. All right, have a great day. Thank you for being part of today's episode and walking with me. As the seasons of life shift, we hold the power to navigate our path with courage, intuition, and wisdom, and embrace change with an open heart, for within it lies the potential for remarkable growth and evolution. If this conversation resonated with you, please subscribe on your favorite platform, leave a heartfelt review, and share it on social media. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, I'd be honored if you shared it with them. You can stay connected with me on social media, where I continue to share insights and inspiration. And for a deeper connection, you can join my Telegram community for exclusive content and real-time conversation. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until our next encounter, keep exploring, embracing change, and finding joy in every moment. And remember, you can always come back here and walk with me.